Yes, I'm ready. So thank you very much for your introduction. Good morning to everybody. And it's a great pleasure for me to have you on board and to present you the results of my, not only mine, but I will talk about it later. They present the results of the project which is underway in Poland, in one of the Polish university. So the title of my presentation is How to Build Clean Culture in a University. And today I would like to show a case study of Academy of Music in Bydgoszc. The name of this academy is Felix Nowowiejski, is one of the famous Polish musicians. And in advance, I would like to apologize for absence of Marek Czerski. He is a chancellor of this university, but he sends you best wishes from Bydgoszc. It's a city in Poland, above the Warsaw, but very nice and very old city. So let's start. All we know that organizational culture plays a crucial role in a change process. Organizational culture could sustain changes or be a big barrier for changes in organization. But usually we focus in our changing programs on technical and organizational aspects, and usually we forget about organizational culture and importance of this culture. We don't take a complex and consistent activities to change organizational culture. Why it's so important? I would like to start with the sentence created by Peter Drucker, that culture is strategy for breakfast. It means that culture could kill all improvements, all initiatives of change in an organization. So it means it's really very important issue and very important question. So as I said, this project is being implemented. We are in the half of the way in this project. And today I would like to tell you a story about lean journey of the Felix Nowowiejski Academy of Music in Bydgoszc. And I would like to show you how we can change organizational culture in a very complex and consistent way. So I would like to show you the results, the midterm results of this project, the results of the first diagnose and strength and weaknesses of management system and organizational culture in this university, how we modified formulated a new strategy for the academy as the results of this diagnose. What are the next steps in our project? And in the end of my presentation, I would like to give you some comments and opinion about this project, and also help you for some support, some recommendation, how we can improve our project, and also how to sustain changes in this university. In my presentation, I would like to take some perspectives. The first perspective is that I will show you the point of view I will show you this presentation from the point of view of organization, because this project was dedicated to management system, to organizational culture, not to this project wasn't limited to one process or one area of the organization activity. The second perspective relates to methodology, because I would like to focus on the methodological approach and framework used in this project. And also it's important to remember that I'm a lean facilitator, I'm consultant, so it means that I'm outside of this organization. So I will show mostly my point of view as a lean facilitator, but also I will give you some information about feedback from this university and how we combine together these activities. So let's start. The first step, this is initiation. And the first time I met Marek Czerski, Chancellor of the Academy of Music in Bydgoszc, on the first meeting of emerging Lean HE Poland network. It was in the middle of 2017. I organized this meeting with a great support of members of international network and European steering committee. And I organized a number of such events, and Marek Czerski attended in these events. It was a very special time for him as a chancellor, because he felt that there is a great necessity of change, and he was looking for a way, for a methodology, how to change university, how to change management system in this university. And in the middle of 2019, I was invited by Marek Czerski to Bydgoszc, and I spent 2 days on lectures and workshops. And I have different reflections and impressions after this visit, but I will talk about this later. But it was the beginning. And in the end of 2019, we started a project. Marek Czerski asked the Jagiellonian University to prepare and to execute a project, and I cooperate in this project with Professor Marek Bugdol. So it was the starting point, it was the initiation, but what was the most important? It was the first impression, the first reflection, and the first reflection was really very strange. So I will give you a short background of this university to understand our feelings and emotions about this university. It's a quite small university dedicated to the separate area of education, because this university educates musicians, artists. So it's small university because number of administration staff is more over 30 people. So it means that they know each other. They live in a medium-sized city on the north of Poland. So what was really very surprised for us, it was communication. I asked administration staff and also academics, what are the main source of waste in this university? And they indicated a number of sources, but the communication and duplication were it was the biggest number of indications. So you could see that the model of communication in this university is really very strange, because formal communication was along the structure. The structure was really characterized by a very strong hierarchy, and it was a typical silos structure. And really, you could feel it in the air, this silos structure, when you entered this university. And the informal communication also was really very strange, because in the center of this model was chancellor. And I was always joking that the chancellor was like a sun in this university. And each of department and each of position in this university, they didn't communicate directly. They used chancellor as some kind of mediator. So it was really very strange situation. And it was really very exhausted situation for chancellor, because he spent a lot of time to communicate and to transfer different information and problems from the one department to the other department. Other problems, bureaucracy, but bureaucracy is really typical for the Polish universities. It means a lot of papers, lack of IT systems. Sometimes these systems are implemented in a not properly way, what causes the increasing of bureaucracy in a university. And also I asked employee, what is the main barrier of implementing changes in this university? And they answered that this is negative attitude to change. So it was the starting point. It was the first impression, the first meeting. So we moved to the first stage in PDCA cycle, because we used a PDCA cycle to conduct this project. And the first stage was plan. In this stage, we did a diagnose, we prepared a change program, we recommended several actions which should be taken in this university, and also modified strategy. So, diagnosis of the readiness to change was done with using two tools. One, it was ISO standard, ISO 9004 standard, because I found this standard as a really very useful tool, because in this standard you can find a self-assessment. And I modified this self-assessment and prepared a set of questions and statements and issues dedicated to leaders and specialists. So the evaluation, self-evaluation was prepared by leaders and specialists. Of course, we helped them as a team, as a facilitators, to understand clearly different questions, different issues in areas according to this ISO standard. So this and the readiness to change was assessed with using a 5-point scale. And usually, a public organization could award 2 or 3 in this scale. In this university, it was between 1 or 2, because some of the requirements weren't fulfilled. So the results of this diagnosis was, there are the main results. I divided them into two categories, strengths and weaknesses. So strengths were strategy, because they had strategy, and also they had some measurements, some indicators for this strategy. And also they had a very good recognition of stakeholders and their requirements. But also we found a lot of weaknesses related to the link, that there was lack of the link between analysis of context, and this context wasn't linked to the strategy and also to the operational plan in this university. They had problems with there were a lot of gaps in relation to risk management, communication, process management. There was lack of regular review of management system, and also some problems with innovation, learning, and improvement. And in this diagnosis, we also used the second tool. It was Lean Culture Maturity Questionnaire. And this is an original tool taken from a tool taken from my book, Lean Culture in Higher Education. And this tool, this is some kind of questionnaire which consists 80 statements. Each of statement is evaluated in a 5-point scales. And what is the difference between ISO standard and Lean Culture Maturity Questionnaire? That this assessment is conducted from the point of view of employee. It says employees self-evaluation. So we are looking for employees' reflection, comments, emotions, feelings. We ask employees how they perceive the situation in the university. Statements are formulated in 5 areas related to Lean Culture Maturity Model: values, Lean principles, leadership, people, teamwork, and relations. Also, the results of this questionnaire I divided into 2 groups: strengths and weaknesses. Strengths are awareness of links between processes and strategic objectives, but we have to remember that this is a very small university. And administration staff and academics play different roles in this university, and multitasking is really very popular. It's a way of working. Also, employees underlined that they have a good knowledge about processes, documents, and risk. They like teamwork. This work seemed to be for them very motivating and inspiring. They are happy to share knowledge. Also, they have a good relation with line managers, and respect for people is valued in this university. And also there is a very long list of weaknesses. These weaknesses are related to insufficient resources, inadequate communication, which is really very complicated. The process of making decision is also very complicated. There is a lot of problems with balancing work, insufficient support from top managers in this university, also line managers. Process improvement is not priority in their daily work. They feel that they are not enough prepared for changes, and they feel and we could also indicate fear of losing a job in this university. So you could see the picture, and on this picture I present the average of this evaluation in each of the area. And you can see that the scale is from 1 to 5, and 1 stands for the I completely disagree with this statement, and 5 stands for this I completely agree with this statement. 3 is dedicated for I'm not sure, maybe yes, maybe not, there is no proofs, so I don't know what is going on in my university. 3 stands for this evaluation. So you can see that this evaluation is placed mostly between 3 and 4, so it's rather low. So it means it's really a lot of to do. And we reported this to Chancellor because he was responsible for this project, and he said something that he realized that he had problems, but he wasn't aware that it was so bad in this university, and that these reports are really very useful for him because he has a proof and a very wide description of the situation in this university. So we offered a change program, how to change university, and this program included several recommendations in 3 areas: creating a continuous improvement culture, developing a lean management system, and trainings. And some of these recommendations were introducing regular management review, introducing Kaizen system to support employee in their improvement initiatives, reviewing and creating a proper communication system, use Hoshinkanri on balanced scorecard to modify strategy. In the area dedicated to developing lean management system, we recommended to implement process management and lean management in this university, also review the process of change management. And in the area related to trainings, we recommended to analyze competency gap and also prepare a training procedure and organize training on the regular basis for the university staff. As I said, we recommended to modify strategy, and the results of the diagnosis was transferred to new strategy for this university. And you could see the part of the X matrix prepared for this university. In the center of this matrix, you could see the mission of the university and 3 strategic areas related to excellence in management, student experience, and innovate research in relations with stakeholders. There were 4 strategic objectives formulated. These objectives were transferred to programs. Each of the program had its own the person who was responsible for this program was indicated. These programs were divided into smaller project tasks or processes which were necessary to execute these programs. And also we linked these task, project and processes with indicators. So it was a very new approach to the strategy in this university, and also it was perceived as a very clear view of the strategy and how the strategy should be executed. And after this, we could move to the next stage. And now we are in this stage. So now we are working on the process map in this university. We are working on the, we train people and organize workshops in relation to different lean tools and also business process management tools. And we cooperate with IT company which delivers IT software, IT solutions for these processes. But this is the perspective of top management, and this is my perspective as a lean facilitator, as a person who is outside this university. But in the meantime, a lot of things changed in this university. After the first meeting in 2019, they constitute a lean coordinator. A lean coordinator created a lean team, and they started regular meetings, short meetings, 15 minutes meetings dedicated to solve different problems and just to communicate. And I think that these meetings, and also they started to use Kanban to organize and order their work. And I think that these meetings and Kanbans really help them to realize that process approach is really very important, and they are interlinked in the processes. And I think that these activities had a great impact on the change of the model of communication in this university. So you can see the new model of informal communication. So it means that the formal communication is still a long structure, but also along processes, because they are in the period of restructuring from the functional structure to the process structure. But the midterm results of this project are better communication, and this communication allowed to break down a silo structure in this university. People just started to talk to each other, and the chancellor is no more in the center of this communication, and he is really very happy of this situation because he saved time. Also, employees improve their competency. They know how to use different tools and methods of lean management, and they also use these methods to improve and simplify their daily work. They feel that they are responsible individually, personally, for problems in their daily work. They are more open to changes. And also, this is what is really very important for me, that they are asking for help and looking for solutions. So they are really very open, and they are not afraid to ask for a help. So I think it's really also very, very important. And two things happened in the meantime and strengthened this program. It was changing of the rector in this university. You know, in Poland, rector, this is some kind of the president of the head of the university. So now director, this is a very open to change woman, and also lockdown and the pandemic time, because they showed the necessity of change, and they showed that we have to left papers and move to IT systems. So there are the results of this project. And so if we will look at the link journey in this academy, in this university, we can see that now we are in the middle of this project. Next year, I will do some post-evaluation. I plan to diagnose again the maturity of lean culture, of organizational culture in this university, with using a lean culture maturity questionnaire. And also now I'm thinking what kind of mechanism I should stimulate in this university to sustain change and to strengthen the PDCA model, because you know, next year I as a consultant, as a lean facilitator, this university, and I want them to continue this work and be just and improve their management system. So conclusions of this, some final conclusions. So the first, I really believe that if we use a consistent and complex approach based on PDCA cycle, and we start from diagnosis of management system and organizational culture and different problems in this organization, in a university, we can really prepare a very valuable and very valuable program of and reasonable program of change. And during all this project, I didn't push people to do something. I helped them to find their way. I really try to appreciate their work and show how their activities could improve their daily work in this university. All the time I try to show them and teach them how to show to other people that they are really important and valuable members of this university. Also, I think it's really very important to remember about organizational culture and remember about this, that this culture could destroy your plans, and that preparing people for a change is really very important through very intensive trainings, workshops, and also learning by doing. So people really must be maybe sometimes pushed, maybe encouraged, engaged, motivated to use these methods in their daily work. Also, I think that we need a new model of leadership in our universities, and we are still working on this, how to change the model of leader in a very bureaucratic, with a strong structure, strong hierarchy, very strong tradition institution. I think that it's really very important to to have some kind of the internal support in the university, like a lean coordinator, lean team, lean department, on continuous improvement department, because it's really very important to help people in their everyday work and build their knowledge and competency. And I think it's really very good to have some luck in this way, because we were lucky, because rector changed, and we have this lockdown time, which was in Poland really, it was really very hard time in our very bureaucratic, based on papers and huge number of documents management system. So we weren't ready to take task in a such situation. So we were pushed to change something. And my final reflection that maybe this case is a very good case to prove that it's possible to have a successful marriage between theory and practice. And in our case, this marriage is still continuing. So thank you for your attention. And in the end, I would like to pose some questions for you, but I cordially ask Kelly to do it.
Thank you, Justyna. That was incredible.